Hello everybody, welcome back to the episode of Final Fantasy XIV. In the last part, I showed off all of the tribal quests with the giants up in the mountains. Now we're moving on to something else. We're doing some of the other shit. What's this place called? Some of the other Wachimeki quests. So I have already done two previous ones. The fishing one with this Danohanu, and the mining and gathering one with Shinyi. Now we're moving on to the crafter side of things. So I can do two things. I can do two of the three that are available. This one, which involves carpenter, I think leather worker and goldsmith. Then we have, I think it's this lad. No, your alchemy. It's this guy. No, it's the other guy. It's his last name. This guy who can do this gal who's blacksmith, armor. Oh no, you're goldsmith. So yeah, I can do two of them. I can do hers and I can do hers. Can't do his or hers. I can't tell if you're a guy or a girl because I haven't leveled my alchemy or culinarian yet. So she's gonna have to wait until later on. So yeah, we're gonna work on this gal, see what she wants, and then we'll get her story out of the way. So, Pameka, what's up, lass? Very warm welcome to you, artisan from afar. Sasa, was it? You stand before Epistles by Pameka, and I am Pameka herself. Charmed though I am to be by your interest in my shop, I'd like to confirm one matter. Tell me, can you read? I live for literature! Trolley script? I doubt it. Meaning you can read Eorzean script? Then you should have a little trouble here. Terali borrows the Eorzean alphabet, and you will find our languages share numerous similarities. We have two speak Terali with a plume, yet it is with a comparatively young language. As our traditional tongues place emphasis on oral storytelling over the written word, we have a sizable population of citizens who do not read or write. My services cater primarily to this clientele. I offer a writing hand when occasion demands, mostly for penning letters or official documents. However, I have just recently received a commission for something larger, a book of stories. These are tales which have never been committed to text, a documentation of oral storytelling. A most riveting prospect, is it not? Sounds good to me. Alas, I found myself ill-prepared. While I possess paper required for simpler documents, I have no experience in binding tomes. Yet, with the skill of an adept carpenter at hand, I could accept this task with my head held high. What say you, traveler? Will you help me tie these tales together? I'm not quite sure how a carpenter can help you put books together, but sure, job's a job. Much obliged. Then let's report to our client on fish and accept his request. His name is Zimoweni. He works at XIV Thai, the restaurant by the beach. I'll need a moment to close up shop, so would you go ahead and wait for me? Okay. Alright. I need to go with ya. Are you upstairs? Hey, guy. Ah, Pameka, welcome. Good evening, Zimoweni. I'm pleased to say that we are ready to undertake your commission. Jesse here will be buying your books. My intuition tells me that none would be better suited to that endeavor. That's excellent news. The more the merrier. But where are my manners? My name is Zimoweni. I'm relatively new to Thule, but I've been earning my keep as a waiter here since I arrived. Ixbalyov Tai is a haven for travelers from every region. There's one thing I've learned in my short time here, it's that everyone's got a story to tell. Ah, shit. Keep going back to dialogue. Inevitably, one regular or another will badge me to retell an old favorite, so I try to memorize as many stories as they told. Well, memory has its limits, and I'm afraid the details of so many narratives might eventually become jumbled or forgotten, which is why I thought to record them in a book for all to enjoy. Of course, my people pass down our traditions via the spoken word, so I neither read nor write. Pameka would make an exception among Tanawada in that respect. Zimoweni will tell his stories, and I will transcribe his words, no different than the dictation of a letter, except perhaps a bit longer. I also thought I might study my letters while you're both hard at work. I'd like to read the books we make, after all. You should join us for transcription if you'd like. Hearing each story might serve as inspiration for its binding. They're fascinating stories, all. I can't wait to see them as books. When would it begin? My schedule is relatively open right now, so I am available whenever you please. Then I'll pay your stall visit once I finish my shift. It shouldn't be too long now. Nope, I didn't turn off the image. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Fuck me. I took the long way around to get to him. Machu Meki Meki! Well, I don't want to talk to you. I already talked to you. We will try our transcription sessions here. I have readied plenty of more parchment and ink, so you needn't worry about that. However, there are still a few more preparations to be made before Zimowani's arrival, and your own business may call you elsewhere in the meantime. Stop by again when you're ready to begin. Epistles by Pameka. Ready to go. You seem eager to start, and I'll admit, so am I. According to my research, will require numerous components. Boards, covers, woven cords, the list goes on. Furthermore, a binding can be made of nearly anything. Wood, cloth, leather. The possibilities are endless. I'll leave the particulars to you and your artistic tastes. Once you have enough materials prepared, we'll be ready to document Zimowani's tales. Alright. I forgot how these things worked. Oh yeah, that's right, collectibles. Okay, so I need handcrafted cover components. I forgot how these things worked. This will be interesting. I forgot how crafting collectibles work. Alright. This happens every time. Every time it happens. I think it's society? No. Cool. No. Where the fuck are they at? Are there no collectibles? That ain't it. Can't be that. You do it that way. Oh, look at the wrong fucking thing too. That's right. I remember. You can't actually, they don't actually give you the material. Okay, I'm starting to remember. They don't actually give you the materials. You have to actually go and buy the shit. And then you craft it through there. Oh boy. Alright. Well, I'm gonna go gather some materials. By gather, I mean go buy materials. So once I have all that I need to proceed, I will be back. So give me just a few moments here. Alright, madam, I got your stuff. Bam, 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 bam. Sweet! Now then, whenever you're ready, Zimmerman, we may begin. I think I'll start with the famous tale that has been passed down across generations of Hano. It's a tale of the benevolent god and of the crop that would enrich their very way of life. Long, long ago, the Hano resided in a land beyond the clouds. Though their heavenly home was frigid, their enemies were few, and while they whiled away their days dancing in the pale warmth of the sun, I know that place, sea of clouds. But one day, a great storm ravaged those clear blue skies. The wind and rains raged upon those lands so fiercely it sent a pair of Hano tumbling down to the waters below. Yet, what should appear but a giant bird as big as an island? It flew up and caught the Hano upon its back. Kindly bird sailed upon the winds over the great blue ocean until finally it came to a land kissed by dawn, the land we called Tyrol. The couple was grateful to stand on solid ground again, but their journey had exhausted them and their energies were spent. They searched high and low for something to fill their empty bellies, and it was there that they found the great bird once again, feasting upon verdant reeds. Hano followed suit. One taste of the sweet reeds filled them with vigor, and their feathers began to glisten with every color of the rainbow. It was then that the couple knew this great bird to be the great Kixaya. Kixaya? Who comes up with these names? They tended the reeds in its honor, and their brood should grow and prosper, becoming the Hano we know today. What do you think so far, Sassala? Have you any inspiration for a suitable cover? Splendid! I suspect Zimmerman will have a few more of Hano stories to tell before we conclude here. We ought to construct our cover in the meantime. With your painstakingly prepared materials, you produce a cover befitting Zimmerman's first batch of tales. You carefully bind Pameka's pages into the fold, and the tome was complete. That's very plain, to be honest with you. I was expecting like a design. It's a real book. I may not be able to read it yet, but I'm just looking at it, fills me with joy. Books are remarkable things indeed. Stories told in speech alone will disappear with their tellers, but what is written is promised to survive. But that's my own romanticism showing through. More importantly, I greatly enjoyed your storytelling, Zimmerman. About the Hano who once lived in the clouds. I've been there. People call it Vano, you say? From your description, they do sound like they might share common roots with Tyrol's Hano. You enjoyed those tales, I know plenty more like them. For example, the ones I heard about the other day from a fellow patron were fascinating. Theirs is the people with a talent for words. I'll have to practice ahead of time if I'm to do them any justice. Please do. We'll be happy to hear them whenever you feel ready. And so ends our first job. You were a pleasure to work with, Cessa, and I have a feeling you'll continue to impress. Thanks, lady. Appreciate it. Good thing you have confidence in me. It's a good thing you have confidence in me. Hey, yo. Alright, what's next? This little Pelu. Greetings, so if you're ready to pursue the next cover, I have an idea that I'd like to share. Zima Wang said he had Pelo tales to tell us next, correct? In which case, I thought using material sourced from the Pelo's ancestral home of Urkopacha might be our cover for an athletic touch. Book about any given people should look at home amongst them, so I think. Sounds good to me. And it's settled. Trust you know what materials we need. Alright. Last, what do I need? Pelu. So this time around, oops, I didn't do that. This time around, I need that stuff. So once I got that stuff crafted and ready to go, I will be back. I got your stuff, lady! Take it and leave it. Oh, your elegant use of snow con has not gone unnoticed. With it, your cover is bound to radiate Pelo spirit. And this is so funny. I see what you did there. Today I'd like to share a few stories about the Pelo. These days we know them to be avid travelers and seekers of profit, but this is not always so. Long before this nation was founded, the Pelo were reclusive folk who rarely left the solitude of Urkopacha. Now, in one solitary village, there lived a Pelo named Sibley. The poor lad was sickly and short of stature, even compared to his diminutive fellows. With such a frail constitution, Sibley could neither work in the fields nor tend to the alpacas. But the village loved him even so, and loved them in turn. He nursed him back to health, and in his times of need, and offered a task that would not fatigue him. He only wished he could better serve them. Yet kindness cannot solve all ills, and in the year of the cold summer, crops withered upon the mountains of Urkopacha. The Pelo began to starve. They ate what remained of their food. They ate all their frail livestock. Sibley knew that they had reached the limits and snuck quietly from the village. With one less mouth to feed, his people would have had more to eat. Finally, he had found a way to help. He, his man, had made up. The poor Pelo made for the sacred mount, that he might fade from this world in silence. Uh-oh. As he began to climb, his spirit appeared and forbade him to go any further. Sibley begged the spirit to let him pass and spoke about his village. The spirit was moved by the lad's fervent resolve and bestowed upon him the handful of leaves. "Return to your village," it said. "People must drink of these leaves." Sibley obeyed and steeped the leaves in hot water. When his people drank, their hunger miraculously faded. No Pelo succumbed to famine, and they all lived to see the coming year. So it was the Pelo first encountered mate tea. I'm not quite sure how tea stopped people from going hungry, but whatever. It's the same cover! Come on, where's the originality? Another impeccable book. Thank you both. What a peculiar story. Of course they exist. We just did a whole tribe quest of that. Of course, there's no telling whether it actually happened, but mate tea is rich in nutrients. I've heard it's effective in relieving hunger as well. How the fuck does that even happen? To me, the moral seems to lie in the virtue of caring for one another. That even in times of great difficulty, keeping others in your heart can lead to unexpected solutions. Well, I better be off. I still have some reading and writing practice to do. But next time I think I'll share some tales from our moblin customers. See you then. Well, you heard the man. It seems that we'll be in plenty of material. We're being for plenty of entertainment yet. Keep your tools sharp. We'll be needing another project. Okay. Sweet. A beneficial binder. Alright, lass. Ready for more work? I was just thinking about the wonderful job you did with the Pelotome. Not only did locally sourced materials for enhanced the binding's quality from without, it served as an immersive preview of the myths within, and I intend to have us continue this trend. If Moblin Tale is next on the agenda, we'll want to use materials from Kozumauka. Of course, the Hano also make a home in that region, so take care to differentiate between their cultures. A tradeswoman of your discernment should have little difficulty, I'm sure. Let me know if you when you prepare the components. Is there another fucking blue book? Blue? Red book? Oh my god, I'm colorblind. Alright. What do I need? Why do I keep checking with you? I don't need... Force of habit. I need that! So, once I have all that and all that crafted, I will be back. Lady, I got your stuff. My Ceci, you've outdone yourself. Ginseng was an exquisite choice. I feel more eager than ever to start transcribing. I swear to God, if it's another fucking red book, I'm gonna lose it. Where's the originality at? As promised today, I bring a number of tales from the Moblins. Theirs is a unique culture, because theirs is peculiar. Forgive me for interrupting, Zimowene, but won't you be seated? Oh, pardon me, I meant to say something earlier about the restaurant. We usually recite our stories while standing. That's so? Perfectly fine, of course, just as long as you're comfortable. When I say the word Moblin, what do you paint your mind's eye? A mask? A pack? Maybe perhaps most notably a pot. Once upon a time, a group of moblins grew tired of wandering the countryside. They wanted a place to call home, so they settled down in the caves deep beneath the earth. They scavenged what they needed and packed their necessities into large clay pots. Their new home was happy, and their pots were plentiful. Too plentiful. Soon their caves grew cramped and narrow. They took up their picks and dug deeper, hoping to expand their domain. And expand they did. Theirs would become one of the largest underground cities of its time. Yet their prosperity would be short-lived. Moblins dug their tunnels so deep and so far, they unwittingly breached the gap between land and ocean. Their muddy deluge devoured the city, and their own masks turned against them, filling the water and threatening to suffocate them. In a desperate bid to escape with their lives, the Moblins threw themselves into the pots and prayed they might see the coming dawn. The pots withstood the terrible tides, and once the Moblins clawed their way into the solid ground, they swore never again to live beneath it. So it was that they built a new village in the jungle, fashioning their houses and workshops into the pots that saved both their lives and prized possessions. As for the city lost beneath the earth, though its location has long been forgotten, they say it slumbers in some remote corner of Taral, the sunken city of Movopolis. Movopolis. Ew. Wonder where that is. Ah, it's a blue book this time. Incredible. I feel it fits the image of the story perfectly. I was moved with the model's resilience. The desire for a safe and comfortable home resonated with me. Relatable sentiment indeed. It is in our very nature to seek out safety and comfort, after all. Many old Terali stories tell about how our peoples first came upon the current homes. The Hana tale I shared previously was much the same. My family loves sharing those types of tales. What about yours, Pameka? I was born and raised in Tule, so I've never given any of my ancestry much consideration. I never thought to ask. How many stories have I failed to hear? About my own ancestors, no less. Seems I have my own digging to do. If there are untold tales out there, I wish to know about them. And I would love to hear them, or even read them, perhaps. I've grown more confident in my layers these days, so I'm keen to practice more stories. I hope you find what you're looking for. I'm a talented tailbinder! What's next? After hearing Zimawani's tales of ancestral tales, I can't help but wonder if my own family may have been preserved from generations past. I've nearly finished my work for today, so I'll close up shop and go speak with my parents. They should be able to point me in the right direction, even if it requires an excursion beyond the city limits. Should it come to that, your company would be much appreciated. I raided the city, you see. Not a problem. Thank you. I'll plan to meet you at what? Where the fuck that is? Oh, over there. Alright. Apologies for the wait. My parents were happy to share what they knew about my ancestors. They said our family came to Tule when the city was founded, so around my great-grandfather's time. They originally hailed from XIV, though beyond that, neither my parents could say. I wonder if I might find some clues or mementos buried in the family storehouse, and as luck would have it, I chanced upon a mysterious stone tablet inscribed with glyphs. Judging by its age, it may well belong to my great-grandfather himself. We know he has an employed palace attendant, but he never divulged more of his work than that. They would resemble those of the Tule saga. Perhaps how Yakyui would be able to read it. Given Yakyui's history with both stone and pictorial storytelling, it would indeed follow that this tower has some connection to them. Why don't I pay the Yakyui a visit then? Perhaps someone will be kind enough to translate the tablet for us. Would you accompany me to Warlord's Echo, Cecila? Just can't get away from that place. Wonderful! Let's be off. I just can't get away from that place! Oops. So this is Yakyubi live. Already I see those carved in the same manner as my tablet. I believe we're on the right track. Let's have a look around and see if we can't find someone willing to help. I'll let you take the lead. You have far more practice in communicating with the Yakyubi than I do, after all. How do you know this? I never told you this. Alright. Mr. Man. Your ancestor's tablet. I can spare only a moment, but I'm happy to oblige. Relatively new. Dated just past 80 years. Bearer of the stones, a retainer of the Dawn servant, and may thus be accommodated as a guest. A residential permit, it would seem. In those days, the scars of war were still fresh. one could not travel as freely as today, so the tab may have been a necessary precaution. Okay. Oh, that's for a wait for a tablet. How very quaint. Fine, hand it over. Tuli. Yes, let's skip the obvious parts. Here we have the correct creation of a new alphabet by a traveling man. A learner of Turali cultures. Makes a little sense to me, but that's what it says. Thanks, guy. Thanks for the input. Appreciate it. Why don't you ask these guys? They said this is where the Valley Garmana was sealed. Tales of these walls could tell of the Sky Ruin. But every building has a story to tell, if you think about it. Take ancient ruins, for example. Scholars have spent centuries piecing together the stories of ancient civilizations from beneath the rubble. Even without the written word, you can still weave a tangible history. Though I simply can't imagine a war without writing. Well... read something? Of course, but do keep in mind I'm in dire need of a nap. What's the original owner of this tab has shared your keen interest in our glyphs. He came here to hold a council of our stonemasons. Shit! I skipped 2 bits of dialogue! No! Blah blah blah, something something something, yada yada yada. Now piece together a full story. My great-grandfather received permission to live among the Yankui in his capacity as a Dawntrail's retainer. He was traveling the continent Tyrol in order to create a new alphabet, and he expressed eager interest in the Yankui's glyphs. Since the town itself is relatively new, perhaps we could still find a stonemason who spoke with my great-grandfather 80 years ago. Shall we go and see? How the fuck are you gonna find that someone like that? Where are we going? What am I looking for? I don't know what I'm looking for. I don't know who I'm looking for! I'm blind. Probably blind, right? Oh, there you are. I am fucking blind. You're way over here in the corner. Well, yes, I have served as stonemason for these 80 years. How can I help you? Yes, I remember. Not long ago at the Tuli's founding, a man bearing this tablet came to stay with us. So our great-grandfather really did come here. Still Yakui glyphs, yes? Do you remember why? He was developing a new alphabet, as I recall. Want to transcribe the Turali we speak today. Back then, Gulal Jaja had only succeeded in creating a united Tuli. Peoples from diverse nations amassed at the capital, and the ensuing linguistic misunderstandings caused no little amount of trouble. As your great-grandfather told it, when the common language of Turali was adopted, he proposed a new alphabet be created to accompany it, and that the Dawntrail turned him down in favor of adapting foreign characters. Not only that, but the Dawntrail then ordered him on a journey of Tural, upon which he was to study the continent's myriad cultures. After touring a number of communities, he stopped here to understand our ways. What he wished to learn wasn't simply how to read our glyphs. He asked tirelessly about our intentions when shaping the stone, how we decide our designs, and with each step in the process of sculpting. Then, one day, your great-grandfather turned to us and said he finally understood the Dawntrail's reasons for rejecting his proposal. Soon after, he returned to Tuli, full of new confidence. I had no idea my great-grandfather had such direct dealings with Gulal Jaja. But I believe I understand why they both concluded a new alphabet was unnecessary. Is that so? Then tell me, child, why do you think that is? Terali is a language that exists solely for purposes of communication. It has no cultural connection to any of Terali's peoples. But a new alphabet would have been a communal creation, a new piece of Teralian culture that might have had the power to override others. Borrowing the foreign Eorzean alphabet allows Terali to remain a borrowed language, a language of convenience. By refusing to establish Terali as a language created by and for all Terali people, Dawntrail sought to protect our cultural diversity. That's why I think you rejected the proposal. After my great-grandfather traveled the land and arrived here to see your glyphs, he must have finally realized the full significance of his alphabet, and the beauty he might stand to lose because of it. This habit must have meant a great deal to him. Seems you now carry on your great-grandfather's discovery, and his story. You're right! My great-grandfather's story. Story of my people! I must pen this tale right away, Cecila. Might I ask you to bind it for me? Sure. While this book represents the significance of my great-grandfather's connection to Yakui culture, so binding with local stone would be preferable. You'll find that plenty right here. Take as much as you need. Thank you, that means a lot to me. I never traveled without pen and paper, but this time I even brought my portable desk. How the fuck did you bring a portable desk with you? Ma'am? Where do you hide that thing? Okay. Fuck me. Alright. There you go, madam. Got your cover for you. I want this binding. Okay, here we go. Kind of creepy, not gonna lie. I've written an account of my own forebear's story. Precious book indeed. Oh, it's also included text from about the Yakui, though using prose to depict your people as well as but somehow in a posit. Thus, I also included illustrations, clumsy though my hand might be, pictures of the stone monuments and pillars, things my grandfather must have seen. See, in your own way, you honor how we Yakui tell our stories with images. That is a very kind gesture. The written words cannot express all things. This is my great-grandfather's lesson. You have been most gracious in your help. Thank you. I return to two with a lighter, prouder heart. All right. Oops. Oops. My great-grandfather's story is now part of my own. I would say our trip was well worth it. I'll think I'll lend Zimawani the book you made, since he expressed his interest in practicing his skills in the new tales. Besides, I think illustrations make for an easier reading experience. It was his petition that I started this whole project after all. I do hope he enjoys it. I'm sure he'll like it. Now you have my deepest thanks, Tesla. Not only were you kind enough to accompany me to Warlord's Echo, but you gave me perhaps your most stunning cover yet. Now it's back to work for me. Until Simawani's next appointment approaches, I wish you a pleasant crafting. Thanks, madam. What's next? Tesla, just the person I wanted to see. Our journey to Warlord's Echo gave us countless insights into my own family history, the Dawn Servant's wishes for this nation, and the myriad ways by which our diverse peoples tell their stories. I feel readier than ever to transcribe more tales for Simawani. Well, you two look happier than a pair of Ronic in the sun. Has something happened? Simawani, you have impeccable timing. I'm back from my journey of ancestral discovery and bring with me a fleshy pen tome of my family tales. Might I persuade you to read it? It would be my honor. No better way to put my reading skills to use. I'd also like to make improvements upon my writing, but I suspect there'll be some time before I can pen anything like you can. Speaking of, a Mammal's Jaw customer came in the other day and entertained us with some wonderful tales. Perhaps we can compile them in a book. Of course, we'll begin our preparations straight away. The cover art of Mammal's Jaw we might ought to include materials from Dawntrail. In the meantime, I'll clean my pens and ready our parchment. Alright, what's next on the list of materials? Alright, I gotta go get all that, and by get, I mean buy, because I don't feel like gathering shit, because it takes too long. So once I have all that ready to go, I will be back. I got your materials, madam! Take it and leave it! I mean, that will hold any more? Sure. What detail you've achieved in your craftsmanship! Forgive me for saying so, but your treatment of these Yoctel materials is the most impressive I've seen thus far. Bravo! This tale was told by me by the Mammal of the Dawntrail clan. The Dawntrail have long been known for the skill as mounted warriors. But their mounts were not only meant for warfare. This is an age-old story passed down through generations and generations. There once stood a Dawntrail youth, bound by the creed of his people. A secret land blessed by sunlight. For this elusive paradise, they searched endlessly, fought endlessly. Compared to his warrior friends, however, this youth was ill-suited for battle. He and his wifery was entrusted not with weapons, but a cart with not which to deliver parcels. What that could ride a winged mount, the youth thought. Upon it, he could breathe the thick canopy of the forest and gaze upon the splendor of the sun. Day after day, he wandered the forest, hoping to tame a flying beast of his own. Yet his frail physique proved a burden. Again and again, he was thrown from the spirited creatures, until his comrades laughed to see his fruitless, dogged attempts. Still, the youth was determined, and after countless failures, he gained mastery over a beast known as the Realm what the fuck kind of word is that? The Realm. He became the first of his people to stride and wing a creature. Right away, the youth went to his aging parents and taught them how he achieved his feat. Then, leaping upon Realm, he took up to the skies. Higher and higher, he flew towards the canopy, until finally he disappeared. He never returned home again, but it is said that he found land of the sunlight his people searched for. The techniques he left would be learned by all Dawntrail, and to this day, it is not uncommon to see riders upon winged mounts, basking in the sunlight upon the winds. Where the fuck did he go? It's a slightly different color, shade of blue. Darker blue. What an alluring azure hue, like the depths of a cenote untouched by sunlight, or the deep blue sky the Dawntrail youth yearned for. A complicated and beautiful color. What sort of impression did you get from that story, Sasala? I was glad the youth's valiant efforts paid off. I wonder if you found what you were searching and looking for. Given the volatile setting of wartime, he might have been struck down by an enemy and simply lost among the trees. But that's hardly the ending I'd like to imagine. We may never be able to return to the past and rediscover the truth for ourselves, but we can carry our feelings about them into the future they helped to create. Writing a book with tales does just that, I think, and entrust our hopes and feelings to those who follow after. In other words, if no one carries on those hopes and feelings, they might be lost forever. The stories I've told you in your pens, they're each filled with the history and aspirations of their respective peoples. But my people have not a single written record. Our oral tradition is utterly unknown to those outside our community. Were we to vanish one day, we would leave not a trace of our existence behind. Our stories would. So, Zimoweni. Pardon me, my shift starts soon, so I should be off. Thank you for the lovely book. Reaching for the sky. A binding authority. Oops. Alright, time for the last quest. Well, Cecila. Zimoweni some trouble after our last session, didn't he? He hasn't said a word about his next commission, but I fear he may have given up on our bookmaking endeavor. At first, he seemed so excited about sharing the stories that he heard at XIV. I wonder how his recitations that are different from our transcription sessions. Care to take a walk with me, Cecila? I think I should like to see Zimoweni's performance for myself. Okay. Very good. XIV tied with us! Oops. Yeah, downstairs. Hey, guy. Pameka, Cecila, here for a drink, perhaps? Well, that does sound splendid. We were actually hoping to hear from one of your famous recitations. Then I'm afraid your time is rather unfortunate. We usually wait until our seats are filled before telling a tale, so not for some time yet. Oh, that's a shame. Then what about your next commission? As soon as we know what sort of tales you plan to tell, Cecil can begin to assemble the necessary materials for your next tome's binding. About that. If you have no further tales you wish to share, far be it from me to insist. Don't worry, I still have plenty to tell. Thing is, when I learned of your discoveries, I decided I wanted our next story to be something from my home. Our tales are completely unknown to outsiders. Should our oral tradition ever reach its end, our hopes and history would vanish with it. Which is why I will preserve what I can with the written record. That sounds like a wonderful idea. And yet you still seem conflicted. My people neither read nor write. Work with creating a written book of their stories truly be understanding and honoring their legacy. When you put it that way, how might we properly convey the stories of people unassociated with the written word? Let's make a book that can read without words. Take a page from your grandfather's book, Pameka. Take a page we shall! I only just finished illustrating a book about the Yakiwi. You don't need to know our written alphabet to read your story from illustrations. But we didn't stop there. What if we incorporate other materials in the book as well? Bird feathers and flowers, things that harken to the setting and appeal to all the senses. We need to devise a way to preserve the materials we choose, but once we do, our readers will be able to immerse themselves in the story without a reliance on the written word. A book that appeals to all the senses. I think that might work. I happen to have a few things you can use for the cover, so I can fetch more if you give me a moment. Alright. Let's reconvene back in my stall. Once you have the components for our cover, deliver them to me and we'll hear Zimmelwinnie's tale. Alright. Ba 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 ba. Bum ba 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 bum 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 bum. Oh, it's a hefty book. I think I should go for one more. Yes. This is a hefty fucking book, I'll tell you that. Rip. Yeesh, that was a hefty book. Better be the most elaborate book cover. I'm expecting like designs and shit on that one. There you go. I'm speechless, Cecil. These will make our finest cover yet. Of that, I have no doubt. Now let's hear Zimmelwinnie's story. Oh, we're not gonna hear the story? What the fuck? What an amazing tome you've made. Careful script and illustration, pieces of the natural world as a light feature in my story. Reading this will be an unforgettable experience for anyone. I can't wait to take this home and show my family. I'm sure they'll be proud to see our story reflected in such art. You should perform it for all to enjoy. Can I come and hear you read at XIV tie? I couldn't even see what the cover looked like. I saw like a glimpse of it. What the fuck? Of course, that was my intention from the very start. I feel more confident than ever in my letters, since I plan to read aloud from this gorgeous tome as opposed to citing or memorization. The fact that say our evening regulars will be fun at XIV tie soon. If I can save a table for you. That'll be splendid, Zimmelwinnie. We'll be right behind you. I gotta go all the way back there? What the fuck? I could just take me straight there. I literally just came from there. Do you hear that? People are telling all sorts of tales around us. A haven of storytellers, indeed. Many here are regulars, but everyone is welcoming of fresh faces. Just as long as you're hungry for new stories. Hey lad, tell us a story, won't you? A new one if you got it. Right away, I've got just a thing for you, and I think you'll enjoy it. Tonight, I'd like to share something personal with you all. Some of you may know that I come from a tradition of oral storytelling. My people rely not upon the written word. However, as short voices no longer echo in the future generations, I fear our very history runs the risk of extinction. Thus, I commissioned the scrivener Pameka and a traveling artisan Cecil with the creation of a book. This is the story of my people. May it warm your heart like the sun upon the plains. Thousand dawns ago, in the eastern reaches of Dawntrail, our ancestors lived upon a bountiful land. The soil was rich, and the wind carried with the seeds that flourished in their healthy crops. But one summer, a great serpent of cloud coiled above our heads. Beneath its swollen body fell the rain, so endless that it drowned our crops and threatened to starve our people. We must call for the sun, someone cried. So our people lifted their prayers to the sky that they might summon the mighty light. But the serpent heard their voices with anger, lashing out with its tail and driving an ever greater deluge down upon them. Let their fields turn to rivers, our people departed in search of the sun. Day after day they walked and walked, bearing their hunger and thirst until they could no longer. It was then they came upon a solitary cactus. Chasers of the sun, take me with you. I too seek brighter lands. For your hunger and thirst, I offer my fruit. In return, sow my seeds upon your path and partake of what they yield. Our people sowed the seeds, and from them grew more and more cacti, each bearing fruit that gifted them strength. For 1,000 nights, they pressed onward, westward, planting the cacti and partaking of the fruit. Finally, they reached a wide land of sunlight. The cacti grew strong and plentiful beneath the golden rays and spoke to our people once more. We give our gratitude, children of man. This is the land we long dreamed of. Today we revel in this radiant paradise. Tomorrow we shall give up our voices and live to nourish your progeny forevermore. So, as the cacti spoke the tongue of man no more, yet our people would continue to care for them and honor them as irreplaceable companions. It was there, alongside that bright sun and thriving cacti, that our people founded a village and lived in peace and comfort for 1,000 tomorrows to come. In our native tongue, Tanawada means sun chaser, but there is no reason as to why our people are so named. The story you just heard is just about one explanation. A tale passed down through generations in my village. But ask another Tanawada and Wauta, and you'll hear another story. I am not here to insist that ours is the definitive tale, but rather to say that in a small corner of this vast continent there exist a people who believe in it to be true. It is my hope that our stories are remembered by many and our words carried forward into the future. Thank you. Thank you. Hey. That's a nice story, man. What did you think? That's how we usually do our recitations. Whoever has a story to tell stands up there and regales the room. I caught Pameka on our way out. It seems she can't leave her stall unattended for long, but I assume she's waiting for you there. Alright. Zimawani's tale's brow was awe-inspiring, isn't it? He set the scene without flaw. I truly felt as though I was journeying alongside those cacti. Words are so peculiar, aren't they? When spoken from the soul, they convey with that meaning that extends far beyond the written word. My experience with viewing Zimawani have opened my eyes to the true duty of a scribe and ear. Going forward, I'm going to hope to capture what I hear with more sensitivity and deeper understanding. It's not a matter of simply writing down words, but preserving the spirit from which they were spoken, just like we do with our books. My abilities have their limits, however, so for the tales I cannot bind alone, I hope I can count on you, Cecila. Not a problem, though this will be the last time I bind your books. Hey. Pameka's I'm done! These are our stories. Or their stories, excuse me. Alright. That is that. I think it was the Epistles by Pameka. I think that's what she called herself. That's that storyline. We got 2 more we gotta do. The next one is going to involve the either blacksmith or armor. I gotta figure out which one I want to do. It doesn't really matter which one I choose. But we'll do that next time. And then that would just leave the one more. That would just leave her for later on. I still gotta level up alchemist and or culinarian before I can do that. So it'll be a little while before I get around to doing that one. But yeah, we'll do that next time. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you then. Later.